Happy Labor Day weekend, everybody. You've made it to the end of the second week of virtual teaching, or virtual learning. So congratulations. So for today, you are going to pick one of the three things that you've written or more. Some people in the face-to-face class have written more pieces than that. You're going to pick one of these three that you've done, either that stem from the sentence starters or from the childhood reflections or the watermarks or dreams lesson that we did yesterday. So you're going to pick one of those three things that you wrote and you're going to flush it out. You're going to pad it out and you're going to make it a more formal essay that I will take a formal essay grade on that will be worth 100 points. As a general rule of thumb, high school essays should be at least 500 words to about 1,000. So that's where we're kind of looking at for here. So make sure that your story or your reflection, your expression reaches at least 500 words. So and need at least 500. You can go as long as you want. I would say that after a while, you might need to wrap it up. If you want to write a novel, you can do that another time, or you can turn this into a novel later on. But at least 500, that is kind of the rule of thumb we're looking at. Pick one of the three that you started earlier this week and flush it out to 500 words, and I'll take a more formal grade on it. Here's how I'll be grading it. I'll be grading it using a holistic approach. So when it comes to holistic grading, it's not a strict rubric where you hit one category and you get all the points, or if you're in the next category, you get 7.5 out of 10 points. It's not like that. Here's how a holistic rubric works. All right. There are 5 categories that I'll be assigning a grade in. So they are focus, organization, development, style, and correctness. And depending on how it was, there's certain criteria that it reaches for that, I will give you that grade on that section. So let's say you have an A on focus, but your organization is off, so you got a C on that. Your development was weak, you got a D on that. Your style was okay, you got a B on that. And then correctness, you got a B on. So I would take the average of what all that was. So let's say your focus was really good, so 100%. As I said, your organization was a little bit off. I'd probably give you a 75. Development was a D, so that would probably be a 60. And then style was a B, which I'd do this college style, so an 80 would be a B in college. And so I'd give you that for the next 2. Then I would average that together. Sometimes in holistic grading, that would be these categories would be weighted a little bit differently. But for this first time around, I'm going to kind of make it a straight thing. So you got an A on focus, then you got a C on organization, a D on development, and B's on style and correctness. So I add all that together and take the average of all that, and so you've gotten a 79 on the essay. I take the average of all 5 categories together, and voila, that's what your grade is. So that is how holistic grading works. It's the average of all your categories together. And so let's go through, and I'll post this on Classroom underneath this video and assignment and whatnot. But here's the criteria, and I'm just going to read the A criteria, and then after that, you can go down and see the deeper criteria. So an A paper will exhibit the following criteria. Focus. The main idea is very clear. The topic is effectively limited to a manageable time period and relevant details. You're not telling me a story that lasted months, and you're not going all over the place. You're staying focused on the topic, which was the topic I gave you on that particular prompt. Organization. Logical plan is signaled by highly effective transitions. The essay's beginning and end are effective and related to the whole of the essay. Then development. All major ideas are set off by paragraphs, yes, which have clearly stated or implied topics. The main idea and all major topics are supported by concrete and specific evidence and details. The writer has made effective use of show-don't-tell practices. Show-don't-tell practices is just using description, being descriptive, not just listing what happened, but trying to put the reader into the story. So using similes and metaphors, those types of figurative language to help make the reader have a clearer picture. Appealing to all the senses, like not all the, like if you're doing the food one, like you probably need to talk about taste and smell. Those would help. The other ones, the other senses, hearing, that would be important for some events. Of course, sight. You need to be very visually descriptive to help the reader be put into the environment. It's one of the interesting things about reading. If you are good, is that if you write well enough, and if you level up your reading skills enough, you can see the person that's reading can kind of live vicariously in the situation that you paint. It's kind of like a weird 17th century virtual reality, but it's true. Like, it's like some people talk about reading that movies are playing in the back of their head as they read. They get into that flow. If you level up your reading skill high enough, that can happen. And so what you need to do is, in your writing, try to develop those for the reader. And that's what show don't tell practices are. You're showing the reader with with your words, not just straight up telling this happened and this happened and this happened. The writer has made effective use of show don't tell practices and has created a clear scene for the reader. And then, of course, that's all expressing. What about reflecting? The significance of the event is shown throughout the essay through the use of details which led the reader to an understanding. Yes, you need to reflect. That is that last half of development focuses on the reflective parts. Style. Sentences relate to each other and to the paragraph topics and to the subordinate topic. Word and phrase choice is appropriate for the context. The tone is consistent and appropriate. And then last but not least, correctness. There are no major mechanical errors such as subject-verb agreement and only a few minor errors such as spelling. All right, so that is how I'm going to grade it. That is the A criteria. And you can read the rest as it scaffolds down. So this will be due on Tuesday. You have the Labor Day weekend to get it done. I'm giving the face-to-face students time in class to do it today to get it ready and polish it up and submit it, because we're going through the writing process. Whenever I asked you to list things, that was you pre-writing. Whenever I said, all right, try your hand at one of these, that was you drafting. Now you are picking one of those 3 that you wrote or more, one of those things that you wrote this week, and you're revising and editing it for publishing it to me for a final grade. All right, so we're going through all that process. Pick one of the 3. Needs to be at least 500 words, and I'm grading it holistically. It's due Tuesday. So you have the whole of the weekend. You have Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and then Tuesday to get it done. All right, y'all. Don't let my essay ruin your weekend. Y'all try to have a good weekend, and don't do anything stupid over the Labor Day weekend.